So the Trump administration decided to crack down on Cuba yet again for no good reason. So they're blocking the most common way that Americans are able to visit Cuba, which is through organized tour groups. And they're also banning U.S. cruise ships from stopping in the country. I mean, we had a policy for so long that was standoffish against Cuba. One of the better things Obama did was to move away from that, and now they're ramping it right back up. So Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said in a statement that the restrictions are a result of Cuba, quote, continuing to play a destabilizing role in the Western Hemisphere, providing a communist foothold in the region, and propping up U.S. adversaries in places like Venezuela and Nicaragua by fomenting instability, undermining the rule of law, and suppressing democratic processes. What's so maddening about that statement is that's exactly what the U.S. is doing. Let me read that again. So this is what they said about Cuba. Now let's replace Cuba and put in the United States. The United States continues to play a destabilizing role in the Western Hemisphere, providing a foothold in the region and propping up Cuban adversaries in places like Venezuela and Nicaragua by fomenting instability, undermining the rule of law, and suppressing democratic processes. That's exactly what we're doing. We're getting involved illegally in Nicaragua and Venezuela. We're fomenting instability, we're undermining the rule of law, and we're suppressing the democratic process. We're trying to overthrow the Venezuelan government and apparently the Nicaraguan government too through covert methods as of right now. And we're accusing Cuba of doing that. You know what Cuba's doing? They're allies with those governments. There's nothing illegal about that. They're allies with those governments. Now, we might not like those governments, but they're allies with those governments. So what? But we're spinning that as if it's like super nefarious. No, what's nefarious is us trying to overthrow those governments, you fucking dipshit. So, I really enjoyed Tulsi Gabbard's response to this. She tweeted the following. Basically, Americans will no longer be free to travel to Cuba because Cuba is a communist country and therefore its people are not free. So now the Trump administration, in the name of freedom, is taking away Americans' freedom. Make sense? That's so true. Like, that's spot on. They're like, these countries are against freedom. They're so tyrannical. So to combat them, I'm going to take away your freedom to go there and be tyrannical. I mean, seriously, travel restrictions, like, so fucking goofy and stupid and draconian and dumb. Like, fuck you. Let us go wherever we want. So, you know what you can do? You can travel to Canada and then travel to Cuba. But it's like, you shouldn't have to fucking do that shit. You should be able to go wherever the fuck you want. God damn it. It's so stupid, man. So, what's Trump doing here? He's being a bitch to the deep state. He's being a bitch to the neocons in his administration who want to do more regime change and topple more governments. And they come to him probably a morning when he's tweeting away and eating toaster strudel. And they're like, Mr. President, can we move on this here and change the travel rules to Cuba in order to, whatever. You fill in the blank with whatever goofy shit they probably told him in order to stand up to bad actors in the region or whatever. He's like, yeah, tremendous, unbelievable. Leave me alone. I'm watching Fox and Friends. And that's probably how it went down. And it's a shame because this is dumb policy. We're rolling back the clock. And it's like all these people know is how to be wrong about shit. How to do the wrong policies over and over and over and over. And to the point where they've become self-parody. And it is infuriating.